Hey history peeps, here we are, we got our next video about the U.S. government. Just so you know, this is going to have a lot of kind of complex ideas, and it's going to be a very surface level, kind of almost like reminder about each one rather than like an in-depth explanation. So this is by far not going to be enough of a video to understand all 7 of the ideas I'm kind of going to bring to you. In fact, I think at least like 3 of them are going to have their own videos, so just keep that in mind. But this is like an introduction and kind of like a summary if you need it to help you remember. So what am I talking about that's apparently like so complex and hard to understand? Something called the 7 principles of government. So these 7 principles of government aren't outright stated in our Constitution, but they are the 7 kind of guiding things. They're stated in like different ways, so there's kind of like a wink and a nod to it. But this list was like kind of compiled by scholars who were studying about our Constitution. It's not like a list in the Constitution. So basically 7 principles. Principles like a guiding truth that you follow. So these are things that Americans associate with their system of government. Not that there aren't other systems of government that do have these things, but Americans, when you talk about what is America or what is the American government, we'll point to these things. The first one is something called popular sovereignty. It's actually going to have a different meaning later in the year, so have fun with that. But right now, popular sovereignty is basically the idea that the will of the people is what guides the government. So the government should aim to do what most people want to do. It doesn't mean that you're going to get your way every time, or that you as an individual get to choose what this government's doing, just you. But if 90% of the population doesn't want something to happen, the government shouldn't be doing it, which for a lot of history is kind of what happened. The second principle, or the next one I'll talk about, and you'll see them in different orders, so just be prepared, is republicanism. So republicanism is the idea we're a republic. What's a republic? You vote for representatives who then make decisions for you. So there are types of democracy where you could have, and this wouldn't be terribly practical, there's too many Americans, but every decision that needs to be made, everyone votes on it and decides what we're going to do. That's not how we work. We have a republic, so you have the federal government level, and then even below that, the states have their own governments that operate mostly this way. There's a few exceptions to that, kind of. Basically all it means is you elect someone to trust them to do what's best for you. Okay, so you are kind of trusting their judgment. You're voting for the person. Now we have political parties, so when you vote for the person, you're probably voting for a core set of ideas, but in the end, you're voting for the person. Federalism. Federalism is the idea that there is a shared, levels of government between the states and the federal government. Federal government, the people in Washington, D.C., okay, people in Congress, the president, the Supreme Court, stuff like that. But there's actually 51 governments, at least, I will say, in America. So you have the federal government, Washington, D.C., that sees over everything. And then you have each state government, which is very important. In federalism, those state governments are not powerless. They do not have to necessarily do every little thing that the federal government tells them to. And there's sometimes they'll battle and they will do what the federal government tells them to. Sometimes they'll make their own way. If you really even want to expand federalism even more, you can talk about the hundreds of local governments that are elected by the people, that have less power but still can potentially stand up to the state and the federal governments. So that's federalism. We have levels of government, right? Federal, state, local. In this class, we're mostly just going to talk federal and state. But the state is not just a tool of the federal government. It has kind of some of its own rights, the idea of a state's rights, which has changed a lot throughout American history, but we'll talk about it a lot. Separation of powers. Different parts of the government are meant to do different things, so hopefully we won't have a tyrant. So I talked about that in the last video. That's not a purely American idea. It's how a lot of countries around the world work today, not just ours. And yeah, you have different branches do different things. Checks and balances is best friends with separation of powers, and checks and balances is that each branch has a way to limit the power of the other branches which we'll talk about. I'll have a separate video about it, and we'll talk about it a lot. But basically, the three interplay. They don't just do their own thing all the time. Limited government. Limited government is the idea that if something isn't written down in our Constitution, the government probably shouldn't be doing it. So your government can't just have like unlimited powers to do like anything. You got to pass laws that fit the Constitution. And depending on who you ask, there are plenty of people who say that our government does a lot more than it was intended to initially, but the world's also changed a lot, and you can go like around and around and around. But basically, limited government, we still have one in the sense that the people have rights and government shouldn't just do anything. Added on to the idea of limited government is that if you do something illegal, it doesn't matter if you are a person in power or not. You should get in trouble for that thing. Individual rights, the principle means that you have certain rights that the government should never take away or limit. It's just that simple. Very important to Americans. So they're basically listed in the Bill of Rights, which is neat. So that was probably the quickest video ever. Enjoy that.